Before we get started, I have to say a massive thank you to one of our patron supporters, Caleb, for keeping the channel up and running, keeping the lights on. We appreciate the hell out of you, Caleb. And if you want to learn more about the Patreon and get exclusive access to certain videos, definitely check it out in the description down below. Now, let's hop right into it because there is some interesting news coming out this last couple of weeks about canceled DC projects, specifically Batman. There has been these rumbles of a Batman game forever. I mean, this goes way back. We were talking about this a year ago. Batman Arkham Legacy, all this stuff here. Project Sabbath. I have a whole video up about the canceled Damian Wayne Batman game, Project Sabbath. That stuff, DC and WB went through a lot of projects. It's amazing to me that some people still think that there was no Batman game, even though obviously they came out with Gotham Knights being announced, and that's going to be coming out later. You know, there were a lot of canceled projects, and we have a lot of new looks now at them. Now, the ones that we know for sure are from Batman are of, you guessed it, Batman himself. These are from J.S. Marantz. This is Jared S. Marantz. He's a concept artist and creature designer and costume concept artist. He is over on Instagram. This is a verified creator. This is not some random leaker or some anonymous tip. He actually released these and said that these are from canceled games. So he had a picture of Batman and said, here's a Batman design I did for a canceled game project. It's always an incredible challenge to do a batsuit and make it work for a new story. Batman is my absolute favorite comic book character, and I'll never get tired of working on him. So this was something that he actually did. You can see several different angles here on Batman. He has a very Batfleck or the Dark Knight Returns-y bat symbol on his chest. The logo is pretty massive. However, he looks like a mix of that with Justice League 3000 with Flashpoint Batman. So we really don't know what Batman this would have been. He does look a little older. He does seem to have some facial hair. So this very easily could have been a Flashpoint Batman, or it actually could have been Bruce Wayne himself later on in the Arkham timeline with something like Project Sabbath, which was canceled. And we did get all that concept art of Project Sabbath. I will show some of that here. And again, I did make a video about that separately, but I do find this very fascinating that we don't really know which Batman this is. I would assume that it is the Arkham Legacy Batman, or at the very least, Bruce when he's older, but we really don't know. There's a lot of different pictures here as well, and a lot of this is going to be speculation because all we got is Marantz's statements here along with the pictures. He did show some different images as well of this same batsuit. The gauntlets light up red just like the eyes, and he did say, here's some more views of my Batman design for a canceled video game. So again, there we have the canceled video game statement. There seems to be a lot of confusion. This is concept art for a canceled video game, not a film. This was a really fun process of designing and building the character in ZBrush. Anytime I would get stuck, I would take a screen grab of the model and bring it into Photoshop and do a few paint overs. Apparently I can't read. Now, what's interesting here is he did definitely, he threw in just tons of tags here as well. We have the Dark Knight, Batman Beyond, we have Bruce Wayne, but we also have Tim Drake, Dick Grayson, Damian Wayne, Arkham. We do have Arkham here, and concept art. So again, there is a lot of speculation here on my part, but it really does seem like there are some ties to Arkham here. I highly doubt this was for a Justice League project, although it could have been. This really does line up with what they were talking about way before. You know, all these rumors, all these rumblings of an actual game for Batman himself. And what's weird is when IGN and some other outlets have asked questions to the Gotham Knights staff, they've asked things like, hey, was this project always going to be, non-Arkham related? We talked about that before in the, this was always going to be not an Arkham game video. And the problem with that is when it comes to game development, if you tell a game developer this project, it doesn't mean, hey, what you've been working on for the last 5 years. They may have gone through 5 projects in that time. And to that developer, this project is what you're referring to them working on now, not the previous iterations of it. So for example, here, if they were designing Arkham Legacy or a Batman Arkham game or any sort of Bat game involving Bruce Wayne himself and not the Gotham Knights, that is its own project. Project Sabbath is going to be separate from Gotham Knights. Sorry about that. That's something very important to note when we look at images like these, and I think that it's something a lot of people gloss over. There are some interesting design choices here. I'm not saying I dislike them, but when we see on the back of the batsuit, the cape actually tucks into a pack, so it can kind of retract very easily. It reminds me of the Batman Beyond Wings, but in the form of a cape. And he even was kind enough to provide an entire 3D render that sort of spins around. I will try to include all of this and links to his actual Instagram down below. It's very fascinating because he actually talks about the cape as well. He says that you really have to understand how everything flows and wraps around the figure. Also, I always like the idea of Batman being able to get rid of his cape quickly if he's in a brawl and surrounded. So we have more, different hashtags, concept art, Batman, DC. This is just something, I don't know. It's just interesting to me because maybe I'm just gloating a little bit. Maybe I just feel a little sense of self-accomplishment because I was talking about a Batman game for years, on and off. Now, this was before anyone followed the channel. Like, we were talking about Arkham Insurgency and all these things that were leaked, most of them false, way back, and nobody believed there was a project going on. We now have actual confirmation that there was a canceled DC game involving Batman himself, out there, by a verified concept artist. Just let that sink in. That's a real thing. We know that there was a game. I just want to take a moment to say that I was right. And that's all I care about in life. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know, guys. I just found that fascinating. There are a couple more images, though, as well that we should take a look at. These ones are ones that I'm not entirely sure if they're from Batman. However, I'm pretty sure because he also did release images of King Shark, and he was talking about it also being for a canceled game. And he has different images of King Shark as well, who's looking really brutal. He has a pack on, or at least it almost looks like a sports bra, or what would constitute as one for King Shark. He also did a 3D render of this as well, which we get to see, which spins around. It's pretty fascinating looking. He's very slick, very streamlined. He does have a suit of some sorts on. And there are hashtags for hashtag Batman in that as well. That's why I also believe that those are from the canceled Batman game as well. Although, again, that is speculation on my part, so take it with a grain of salt. Obviously, I don't 100% know that. It is fascinating that these images look very Beyond inspired. The King Shark images actually seem to line up with the same artistic vibe. Same with these Batman images of what was Project Sabbath. And while I don't know that that was actually the game that, this is referring to, it does seem pretty indisputable that a actual confirmed full-on industry professional concept artist has released images of a canceled game. I didn't actually know they could do this, to be honest. Obviously, he designed these images, and art is a fascinating thing when it comes to copyright. DC, Warner Brothers, they're the ones, AT&T above them actually as well, who own Batman, who own Superman, who own all these characters, right? But Marantz drew them. He did the concept art for this canceled game. So I guess he has the ability to do this. Otherwise, he's going to get in trouble, but I highly doubt it. He seems to have posted a lot of stuff from canceled projects over the years as well. I don't know. Let me know what you think in the comments down below about these designs. What are your thoughts overall? Would you have liked to see them? I do have some other stuff on the channel that I've been working on as well. I'm trying to get into movie reviews as well. So I will put one of those on the end screen here. I'd appreciate it if you check that out. And I have a full video about the canceled Project Sabbath as well, which I think is pretty interesting. There's a lot more stuff coming out over time here that really points to Gotham Knights not always having been the direction of WB following Arkham Knight. It really does seem like there was going to be a follow-up of some kind in that universe set later on, actually much later on it looks like, and I don't know. That seems like the thing that people wanted. I'm very happy with Gotham Knights, but there's been a lot of pushback to it. And I'm interested to know if you would have been happier if this had been the thing. Let me know in the comments down below. Be sure to check out the videos as I mentioned and leave a like if you like, dislike it if you dislike it. As always, I'm Jay. Have a fantastic day and stay shway.